Alright, so I've made a common ground for all of my switches here. You don't have to worry about that, but now we're going to take this green, yellow, and brown wire and wire it through. I've also attached a blue wire to my ground for that switch. Since I don't have a ground in here, I'm going to need to lengthen the ground wire for that switch and wire it down and then ground it somewhere on the floorboard. So for that, I've just lengthened that black wire. So now I'm going to put those through. Once we get that through, I'll separate the green wire, and that goes to the ignition hot, and the yellow and the brown wire have to go into the engine bay to that isolator. Alright, so now we're over here on the driver's side by the fuse box, and I've split this green wire off, and now I need to add this fuse in before I tie it in with the ignition hot switch. So I'm just going to cut that there. We'll cut the green wire. I'm going to tie this in with a butt connector like that, and then we'll tie this side in with the ignition hot. Alright, now on that ignition hot side, since I'm tapping into a wire that's already there, I'm just going to use one of these quick connectors, and that way I don't have to mess with it too much. Alright, so I got that green wire tied in to the ignition power there through this fuse here, which is now the red wire. And now I need to take this brown and yellow wire and go through the firewall. Alright, so now you need to make a hole in your firewall. If you have one already, by all means use that. On the Jeep Cherokee, I recommend right here above the fuse box is a great place. Now the kit for the dual battery from Painless comes with this 3/4 inch grommet, and I suggest that you do use a grommet, but in my case I don't even have a 3/4 inch drill bit, so that's going to be a problem. But I'm going to open up that hole and see if I can fit this in there. Alright, now I'll just put it in the wire loom and then route it across the engine bay over there. Alright, so now that we've got the wires over here to the isolator, I can go ahead and connect those. For that, the brown wire is going to connect right here to the opposite end of the positive. But I almost forgot this, so I had to edit this back in. But before you attach that brown wire, you're supposed to install a fuse in between the brown wire and this right here. So I'm just going to attach this brown wire to the red wire here, install that, put that fuse somewhere, bolt that fuse down, and then I'm going to attach this red wire to here. Alright, so for the yellow wire, it's kind of hard to see there, but I'll push this back. The yellow wire is going to go to that nut right there. Now there's two nuts down there. One of them is right there, that's the ground, and the opposite one is where you're going to attach the yellow wire. Alright, so after you get that side taken care of, the next thing you're going to do is figure out how to ground your reserve battery. So I've got this cable here, and we're going to attach it right here. And on the Cherokee, there's actually a nice ground wire over here on the firewall. It's got a ground strap on it already. So I'm just going to run that to there. After I get done with that, we're going to have to try and figure out how to get the positive cable over to that side, which is going to be a little more difficult, but we'll figure it out. Alright, I've got that side connected. Keep in mind that you're supposed to be using 2-gauge wire for this. I'm not going to connect the battery side yet because I don't want to shock myself. We'll go ahead and run the positive now. Alright, so I've got my battery cable here ready to go. I just need to take it from this positive over to that side. Now, the ideal route would be the shortest way possible, which would be up front. Now I could put it up front here through the grill, but you also want to keep in mind you want to keep it away from anything sharp, any sharp objects and any moving objects like the fan and the radiator fan. So since I'm using 2-gauge, I think I'm just going to take it around the back here. It's only about a foot or two longer, and I think it'll still work alright. Alright, once you get it routed, go ahead and put it on there. And then we'll take up any slack and we'll connect the battery side. There we go. Now I didn't mention this before, but you also want to make sure that this isn't going to hit anything that's grounded. If that were the case, then you'd have a big problem there. So make sure that's not going to hit anything grounded and that your hood isn't going to come down and smash on there and ground it out. And on this end, I'll just cut it to length and then attach it to the positive here. Alright, now all we have to do is connect the negatives and then we'll test it, see if we did everything right. Alright, now we get to see if we did everything right or if we just screwed everything up. So the first thing you want to do is check. I've got the switch in the middle position, no lights are on, that's good. Then you want to go up, then down. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. One direction you should have a red light, and the other direction you should have nothing. Now we're going to turn the key to the on position, and you should have that red light still in the down position, and when you flip it up you should get a green light. So what does that mean? That means anytime there's a light on, your second battery is on. But in the green position, your second battery is on, but when you turn the key off, then the battery shuts off. So that's what that means. Now if you turn it to the red position, your second battery is going to be on no matter what, whether you leave the car or not. Alright guys, now that's how you install dual batteries. Don't forget to check out my website, BleepinJeep.com. We've got all the best off-road videos on YouTube, none of the boring stuff. We also have hats and t-shirts, muffler bearings, flux capacitors, and stickers as well. So check it out, BleepinJeep.com. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the Facebook page. Leave your comments or questions below, and we'll see you next time.